Now, fuel shortage has crippled the nation as motorists and businesses bear the brunt, fearing a total shutdown. Public service vehicles, private motorists and boda operators are stranded, hopping from one station to another in a desperate search for fuel.
Uhaba wa mafuta umeanza kunukia humu nchini, huku foleni ndefu zikishuhudiwa kwenye vituo vya mafuta katika sehemu mbalimbali.
Now, a shortage of petrol and diesel is being experienced in various parts of the country. A situation linked to the effects of the ongoing war in the Middle East. Citizens and businesses are already feeling the impact of this looming fuel shortage.
There is no fuel at this petrol station in Kilimani. There's also none at the Ola down the road and several other places in Nairobi this morning. These are the shortages we feared when the Iran war began, which led to the effective closing of the Strait of Hormuz. A ceasefire in Iran was reached last night, though, which should see the straits reopening. But as we know, there's a lag time in all of this. Limited supplies are flowing in now, but avoid panic buying, because that'll make the situation much worse.
Kabisa. Wacha nikwambie Wakenya tuko sawa. Sisi hapa wote, mimi nimezunguka, unaweka dhao ya kuzunguka ukitafuta mafuta ingine. Yeah, but nipo at least tuko na super expressway inatusaidia. Na ile nini, si BBI tulimwaga pesa, ndio hii inatusaidia, ndio maana tunazunguka. Na wakati wa kura tutasimama mara mbili asubuhi, na hiyo wakati wa pili tutasimama tufanye hii kitu. Wakenya tumezoea kupiga line na tunafurahia sana. Ni jambo mzuri, tunashukuru serikali. Sababu sasa tungepiga wapi line? Tupige line asubuhi ya mafuta, usoke upige ya maziwa, alafu baadaye nasikia maji pia imeisha. Tumeanza rationing. Sasa sisi tutaangalia wapi? Lakini uzuri tunaona hata tuko na viongozi hapa. Tunafurahia. Mimi nimefurahia. Hii kuzunguka tukitafuta mafuta. Hata unaamka usiku saa 6 unaacha bibi na watoto unaenda kutafuta mafuta na haupati. So tunataka kushukuru serikali sana. Tumefurahia. Ni jambo mzuri, hata hatupatanagi hivi kama Wakenya. Wacha niende kasiishia hapa. Unajua naenda napata imeisha. Asante sana.
Anasema hii mafuta hata ikipanda anapata faida. So in the next 3-4 weeks mafuta itapanda na zaidi ya 40 shillings kuendelea mbele. So na ikipanda fare itapanda, kila kitu itapanda. Sasa wewe William Ruto umetajirika. Sasa hii utajiri mingi ni ya nini? Si umeumiza sisi ya kutosha. Tafadhali tosheka na ile umepata. Hiyo inatosha wewe. Sasa hii ya mafuta umesema iongezwe hata ifike pesa ngapi? Wewe ujali. So that is the problem.
Bro, Mombasa imetufikia. Unaangalia foleni hiyo sasa. Foleni hiyo. Patash analia hapa. Kwa Mombasa unaona pembe za ndovu hizo? Foleni hii yote ni ya kwenda kwa mafuta buda. Unaona? I hope this thing will not last for long. Alafu tunafika hapa tunaambiwa ati mafuta inaweka only 2500. Sasa ni mambo gani? What is 2500 kwa hizi gari za sisi kubwa? Panabu. You see? It's only 2500 yenye inawekwa. Haipiti hapo. Very unfortunate.
Murang'a is among the towns that are grappling with fuel shortage, and a spot check that I have just done a few minutes ago shows most of the petrol stations are turning away motorists and boda riders for lack of the commodity. And anywhere where people find fuel, a queue forms. It's like people are making calls, informing each other any petrol station that has fuel. I was at Shell petrol station in Murang'a town a few minutes ago, and in a span of less than 2 minutes, it was only boda riders. But as I was leaving, there was a huge snarl up of vehicles and other boda, including tractors, trying to get fuel. It seems others are coming with jerrycans just to have fuel to carry it for any other rainy day, because no one is sure if tomorrow it will be available or even if the pricing will go up. I was also at the MTN petrol station, where one of the attendants informed me that they have not had fuel for the last 4 days after the shortage started hitting the area. Yesterday night, in some of my clips that I shot yesterday night, there was panic buying by boda riders in Murang'a town at one of the petrol stations, Astral petrol station to be specific, where most of them, actually hundreds of boda riders, including some other motorists, was scrambling for the commodity. It took the intervention of a traffic police officer to come and try to control the huge snarl up that had been caused by the motorists and the boda riders. Also, I've spoken to matatu owners in Murang'a town. Some of the matatus plying along these routes. As I've managed to talk to two of the directors who informed me that the situation is dire, and they are also telling me they have no plans to increase transport fare, but if push comes to shove, they have no choice. He was telling me they're actually compassionate of the fact that the cost of living is very high, and they do not want to reach to a situation where they'll be forced to increase transport. We'll keep updating you on what is transpiring in Murang'a, to be specific, as the fuel shortage hits part of the county.
Hello you all, welcome back. My name is Kola, and have you all noticed what's happening lately with the fuel shortage? Like, it's actually getting scary day by day in Kenya, and so apparently this whole situation is being linked to the war in Iran. And at first I was like, okay, that's far from us, we are in Kenya, and the war is between Iran and the USA and Israel and the neighboring countries. But now it's hitting us directly in Kenya. And Kenya literally depends on imported fuel, and most of it comes from the Middle East, where the war is still ongoing till today. And so when that whole region is unstable, especially with things like the Strait of Hormuz being affected and being closed to other countries and them not accessing it, it disrupts everything. And now we are seeing the consequences. We are seeing the consequences in oil prices. They have skyrocketed like crazy, from around $70 to around 110 per barrel at some point. That's not small money. That's a huge jump from 70 to 110.
Africa is projected kukuwa na an energy crisis by mid-April. But the government keeps on lying kwa sababu hakuna kitu ingine government ya Ruto inajua apart from lying and contradicting itself. Last week, the president aliandika statement na akasema that akona enough fertilizer kwa sababu fertilizer pia inapitianga the Strait of Hormuz. Akasema akona enough fertilizer until ya September, ile kupanda watu upanda around September. Akasema akona enough fertilizer until then. Akasema mafuta iko na ameka mikakati that tutakuwa na mafuta enough. But here comes Energy CS, akasema hata yeye akona mafuta enough. But Mbadi akakuja akatuambia mafuta yenye iko inaweza to last to 16 days pekee. And then sasa tukienda kwa petrol station, some petrol station don't have mafuta ama wako na V-Power pekee. So unashangaa who is lying to who? Na kama situation iko hivi kwa ground, the government inafaa kuwa proactive. Si mambo ya kuwa tu reactive all the time. Sai wao tu ni campaigns. Wakikuja wakitusiana tu huku, wakiambiana tu vile sijui nani amefanya, nani ameimpregnate nani, instead of finding solution of this looming disaster yenye tuko karibu kuface. Because you guys, we get our energy, all our energy, na maanisha gas, na petroleum, oil and everything, tunapatanga from the Strait of Hormuz. Pia if you don't know, helium inatoka Middle East. Helium inatumikananga kwa hospital when you're taking an MRI, when you're taking a scan, when you're yani inatumikananga kuona your internal organs. But the government imenyamaza bado. There's nothing that they are going to do. Instead of addressing the issue before it to hit, watangoja it to hit, vitu zipande juu, wafanye nini, and then they are going to blame it on the Strait of Hormuz. My friend, tuko na mafuta Turkana. Yeah, sasa unafaa kwa ukijiuliza, how can we revive Changamwe refineries na vile tunaweza fix hiyo mafuta yenye iko Turkana. Sasa SGR inafaa kuwa halfway to Turkana. Ndio by the time hiyo kitu ina to hit, si tutakuwa na SGR yenye na transport mafuta from Turkana to Changamwe.
Okay guys, prepare for tough times ahead, and this is breaking news. Now, the prices of petroleum are about to go significantly higher in next week's EPRA review of fuel prices. Now, this has been revealed by Martin Chomba, who is the chair of the Petroleum Outlets Association of Kenya. He's made the projections. It will be between 30 to 60 shillings. And if right now the petrol is about 180 to 185, then next week it is going to be around 230 to 240 Kenya shillings. Oh, and by the way, right now we are following up that story from Karatina, and it's happening almost all over, where motorists are not finding fuel in most petrol stations. Is it a case of hoarding until next week when the prices will significantly go higher? Let's wait and see.
And because of that, fuel is becoming scarce. Some petrol stations are already running dry, and others are rationing, and people are panicking while buying it because it's expensive, or there's no oil, or even people start tampering with oil. And like, imagine pulling up to a station and being told, hey bro, hakuna mafuta, there's no fuel. That's wild. But what's even worse is how this is affecting everyday life. And it's affecting everyday life, like transport prices going up. We have to pay expensive transport daily to go to work. And even food prices are also going up. Even basic things are becoming expensive because fuel literally affects everything. And you can feel the tension everywhere. Even with the boda guys, they are also struggling. The matatu people, they're also struggling. And they're trying to adjust fares for them to be able to fuel, because if the fuel is expensive, you have to have expensive transport. And even businesses are complaining. It's like a chain reaction affecting everything. But let's watch how people are reacting to this, and then we're going to come back with a full commentary at the end of the video.
DCI wanataka kutuambia 500 million ilikuwa kwa exhibit ya evidence, and then it can magically disappear. Do you know how much is 500 million? Unadhani unaweza beba na backpack hivi 500 million? 500 million is a lot of money. And I told you guys, we are going to have an energy crisis. We're going to have an oil crisis. Watu wa kwetu Murang'a already hakuna mafuta Murang'a. We're going to have such an oil crisis. Na government inasema everything is okay, everything is good. Let's talk about hii crisis yenye ili happen. Hii kuibiwa tuliibiwa 4.8 billion. Na Kenyans and Opiyo Wandayi. So Opiyo Wandayi, and asiseme hakuwa copied because uko chini kwa hiyo letter yenye alikuwa anaandikia KEBS, he was CC'd, alikuwa copied, alikuwa in copy. So the PS akaandikia KEBS, akawaambia juu ya hii Iran war, we are going to have a shortage of fuel. Mind you, hiyo fuel ilikuwa imeshatoka UAE before hata nini ianze. Sahi tulikuwa na shipment zilikuwa on the road coming. So is on the kwa njia zikikuja zilienda wapi? So akasema because of the war that is happening in Iran, kutakuwa na energy shortage. So what they want KEBS to do, wataleta mafuta substandard. Hiyo walisha agree. Wataleta mafuta substandard. So they want KEBS wafunge macho. Wasema it's okay, wacha ipite. KEBS now waka reply. No, KEBS didn't reply. Now Kenyans aka reply. Akaandikia now the CS wa energy. Akamwambia it's okay, tunaweza kubali hiyo mafuta substandard, but utatu promise as if it makes a difference. Ati ile consignment itakuja next, ikuje ikuwa compliant, na ikifika umix na hii yenye haiko compliant, na pia yenye uko nayo currently yenye iko on trade uimix na hii yenye iko non compliant, ndio at least compliance ikue kidogo. Are you serious? Ni kama mtu akupe chakula itakupia food poisoning na chakula mzuri, but akwambia ebuzi mix kidogo ndio reduce the food poisoning. Are you serious? And then kumbe hata hiyo mafuta tulilose, kumbe hata hiyo contract tulilose, tukalose hata 4.8 billion. And then now they made 500 million. Wakaiweka in cash. Let me tell you guys, even when your president amekubali that the CSS, the PSS, wanaweza withdraw money from the market, and then wanaiweka, they stack it kwa bedroom yao. So you have withdrawn money from the market, it's no longer circulating in the market. Umeenda ukaificha mahali kwa nyumba yako. We have to stop that. Kwa sababu sasa sisi ndio tunaumia. When money is not circulating in the market, things will shoot up. Na hata just guy, nawaambia by May, vitu zitakuwa expensive. Watu wa tutam, nyinyi ndio mtakuwa front mkisema Ruto must go. Nyinyi ndio mtakuwa front mkisema Ruto must go. Wacha akuje huko Olkalao tukizika our MP. Ni wanta.
Right now as we are talking, tushaanza kuwa na shortage of fuel in the country. Mombasa ndio imeanza. Sijui tena ndio Kirinyaga ndio imeanza. Yani kitu yenye hatujaiona kwa maisha yetu yani. What's going on? Yani watu watuta mtu mmemo tu mlete tu maswara tu kila mahali. Surely. Yani tu watu watuta mtapata tu kuna mtu tu mwenye akili yake haifanyi. Mpaka unashangaa what's going on? Kitu yenye hatujaisikia kwa maisha yetu, hatujawahi sikia. Shortage of fuel. Sasa saa hii watu wa electric cars and motorbikes. Sasa it's your time to shine sasa. Uwanja ni wenu, tumewaachia sasa. Joto sema sijui tuende uweke full tank, sijui store mafuta. Mafuta ni kitu itaisha tu. Unaona? Sasa zinyi watu wa electric sasa it's your time to shine sasa. Yaani kitu hatujaisikia na hizo zote zinaletwa na watu watuta, mnyi watu. Hamna mutiri akili.
Mafuta imeanza kukosekana. Hii line yote ni anduthi hii. Unaona Fuel shortage. Wao walikuwa na support vita ya US. US ako na mafuta, Kenya una. Watu wanunue baiskeli. Angalia line yote. Hadi gari huko jam.
If you drive through petrol stations in Nairobi today, utapata one thing is common. Hakuna mafuta, especially in the morning hours. Simbagathi, Dennis Sprit, Wilson Airport, kwote hawana petroli. But here is what the oil marketers don't want you to know. Nairobi is not out of fuel. It's facing artificially engineered shortages, most likely for commercial reasons. And this is according to the government. On March 3rd, 2026, Energy CS Opiyo Wandayi confirmed that Kenya has sufficient petroleum products to cover the country until April 2026. Then, on March 19th, Energy PS Muhammad Liban confirmed the arrival of over 100 million liters of super petrol. So, if the government has secured our supply until April, why are many petrol stations in Nairobi seemingly dry? Let's break this down using EPRA's own data. Kenya consumes approximately 5.3 million liters of petrol every day. Experts suggest that Nairobi region consumes 35% of that, meaning the region needs 1.8 million liters to run every day. So out of the 100 million liters that arrived on March 19th, Nairobi region got its fair share of roughly 35 million liters. And if you divide the 35 million liters by 1.85 million liters used daily, you get 18 days of supply. This means the fuel that came in on March 19th should last close to 3 weeks. That is, from March 19th to April 7th, 2026. So the big question here is, why are most pumps seemingly dry? One thing, profits. Oil marketers stand to make super profits if this artificial shortage is sustained. And a simple model scenario estimates that petrol prices could increase by between 17 shillings and 20 shillings if the crisis in the Middle East persists. Kumaanisha, petrol could jump from 178.2 shillings and reach a record high of 198.2 shillings per litre. So, what's the way forward? 1. Kenya must increase its strategic reserves from 21 days to the international standard of 90 days. And 2. Kenyans must demand EPRA to set up a public real-time dashboard that displays our fuel reserves, allowing Kenyans to see live fuel stock levels at all major depots, just as it happens in the United States and the International Energy Agency member states like Japan and Germany. And finally, a message to EPRA. You are the referee, you have the law, and you have the data. It is time to stop monitoring the situation and start revoking licenses. Tafakari ya Kabala.
And some reports are even saying Kenya only has like a few weeks worth of fuel reserves, which is honestly worrying. So you have to literally fuel enough or buy fuel and keep it safe, because I think we won't have oil in the next few days. And then there's another issue. People are accusing some fuel companies of hoarding just to sell later at higher prices. And that's why I say you have to buy oil as early as now. You can also hoard if you want. So now it's like, is it just the war, or are people also taking advantage of the situation? And globally, this war has already damaged oil supply chains and slowed down production. So even if things calm down, prices might stay high for a while, because if people hoarded oil to sell for later, the prices still remain the same. And globally, this war has already damaged oil supply chains and slowed down production. So even if things calm down, prices might stay high for a while. And that's the scary part. This might not end anytime soon. Honestly, it just shows how something happens miles away but can still affect us here in Kenya immediately. Like, this thing is affecting every country globally, and we are all connected, whether we like it or not. But yeah, I want to know what you guys think about this, about the fuel shortage in Kenya. Have you already experienced fuel shortages where you are, and how are you dealing with it? Or is it just prices going up? As Kenyans just wanting to skyrocket things, because right now it's starting to feel real, and it's impacting every day-to-day life. I want to hear from you guys how you feel about it. And finally, credit goes to the respective owners of the clips and content used in my video. Your thoughts and perspective made today's work possible. And if you loved today's video and you would want to see more of this, ensure you leave a like. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video widely. Remember, it helps the channel grow, and I'll see you in the next video, guys.